My name is Sabina Dvořáková. I'm from Czech Republic, from DEMAS. DEMAS is an association for democracy assistance and human rights. That means that we are a platform, and I represent here not only the DEMAS Secretariat but also its 13 member organizations. Well, the reason why I'm here is to meet new people. That means mainly networking, but is one of aims of DEMAS. Then the other aim, that's advocacy. So if it's possible to advocate on our issues, then I will certainly do that. And the last task of DEMAS, that's capacity building, and well, maybe that will be the capacity building only for me now in Vilnius, but I will surely transfer my knowledge to other member organizations.
I'm Marian Karut. I'm from the Romedia Foundation in Hungary. We work to promote the voice of the Roma minority in Europe, who are 12 million in Hungarian and other European media, through traditional media, TV, and also the internet and whatever tools we find.
Hello, my name is Sergei Tkachenko. I am from Ukraine. I represent Donetsk Regional Organization Committee of Voters of Ukraine. And now in Ukraine we have the big transformation process from traditional media to new internet portals and new media. And I hope that all will be best.
My name is Kin Omar. I'm a Burmese democracy activist in exile for 23 years, based in Thailand, and I'm the coordinator of this Asia-Pacific regional network called Burma Partnership, which is a network between the Burmese activists and Asia regional activists together promoting democracy and human rights in Burma. And we do a lot of media advocacy work, particularly with the ASEAN media, and particularly we've been advocating for the democracy in Burma, and also exposing the human rights violations that the Burmese regime has been committing, such as child soldier, forced labor, and military rape. So that's the main issues that we'll be working on.
My name is Hassan Shirashek. I'm the Executive Director of the East and Horn of Africa Human Rights Defenders Project and the chairperson of the network. We focus 3 areas of work. One is the immediate protection for human rights defenders, including people who defend the right to information, including the journalists working in the front line. And then we work on capacity building in terms of capacity to protect their work and themselves, in terms of training, the IT, the security management, trauma counseling and coping strategies, and also international and regional mechanisms for the protection of human rights activists. And then also we work on media, and that's where our link with the media people comes, because we raise awareness of the work of human rights defenders, including women human rights defenders, members of the LGBTI community, and women journalists working on the front line. We are based in Kampala, and we are 17 member staff, and our focus lies on this area. Primarily, our advocacy is targeted to the UN Human Rights Council and the African Commission on Human and People's Rights and the European institutions in Brussels, and also United States government, both at the legislative and at the State Department and the National Security Council.
My name is Adrian Juko. I'm the coordinator of the Civil Society Coalition on Human Rights and Constitutional Law, Uganda. Earlier this year, one of my colleagues, David Kato, was murdered. and the government simply drew conclusions that it was a robbery gone bad. Since then, the trial has not taken off of that person who is suspected, and the situation continues to worsen for human rights defenders in Uganda, especially LGBTI rights defenders. That I also write a bill that proposes a death penalty for persons practicing homosexuality, and also that bans the promotion of homosexuality, threatens freedom of association and expression for NGOs and also human rights defenders in general. Because if this bill passes into law, then maybe next year I won't be in any session like this, because then what I'll be doing will be criminal. I would like to thank the US government, the State Department, for speaking out loud about that bill, and also sending the condolence message when David died. We always feel that the American government is with us in this struggle that we are in Uganda, and we want them to continue with this. Thank you.
My name is Jehan Pereira. I'm from Colombo, Sri Lanka, and I work in an organization that deals with the ethnic conflict in my country. In working for peace, it has been very difficult because the peace that we want is a negotiated peace between the ethnic majority and the minority. And the majority is not very sympathetic to what we have to say. We stand for universal values, and in a climate of ethnic nationalism, universal values are not very much appreciated. Therefore, since there is not so much popular support for us within the country, especially from the government, which is viewing us with some degree of suspicion, we need to have external support, because we stand for universal values which apply to human beings throughout the world in the same way. And in the same way, we expect support from the world for what we want to do.
My name is Sharbana Tahsil. I'm a journalist from Lahore, Pakistan. The Pakistani media gained the vibrancy and the freedom that it currently enjoys, ironically enough, during the military dictatorship of General Pervez Musharraf. To an outsider, it may seem like the Pakistani media is free. There's a lot of criticism and information sharing that takes place. And in my opinion, sometimes the media scene is almost a little too free. The publications and the channels are allowed to say and show whatever they like, unchecked and without any restrictions, and it's borderline sensationalist and poisonous sometimes. But on the other hand, as most things in Pakistan are, our media scene is very much controlled by the intelligence and by the army. Pakistan was recently deemed to be the most dangerous place for journalists to work, with over 16 journalists being killed in the past year, the most recent case being that of Saeed Salim Shahzad. So the message that's given out is that you can say and do whatever you like, but the second that you start investigating specific events or taking certain people's names, you can consider that to be a death sentence.
My name is Mahdara. I'm from Ethiopia, but now I reside in the United States after I was forced to flee the country in 2009. I'm so excited today, and I'm hopeful I'll be able to get a chance to speak with the Secretary of the State regarding the current situation of Ethiopia, particularly with the legislation on civil society organization. As a women activist, I was heading the Ethiopian Women's Lawyers Association, but that association, even though has contributed a lot to the country with respect to women's issues and raising and promoting rights, it's so sad now that it can no longer promote the way it used to do, just because of the introduction of the NGO legislation. So my plan today is, if I'm able to get a chance to address the issue of this restrictive legislation and the impact it has brought to the organization and other human rights organizations, so that if the United States could push or could address this issue from the women's rights point of view and from human rights point of view, so that the government will be able to amend or repeal this restrictive law to flourish for the flourishing of the civil society organizations in the country.
My name is Ligia Bolivar. I work for the Center of Human Rights at the Catholic University in Venezuela, Caracas. And I hope that this meeting will help us to increase the awareness at the international level about criminalization of civil society in general, and especially of human rights NGOs in Venezuela and elsewhere.
Okay, I'm an investigative journalist from Africa and also a digital media enthusiast. So what I'm busy doing at the moment is giving journalists in newsrooms across Africa digital tools so that we leapfrog the disruption that's going to be coming. We've seen traditional media collapse in the Northern Hemisphere. There's been a lag in the South because there hasn't been the same amount of penetration. And effectively what I'm doing is helping gather together tools and strategies so that we don't have the same kind of meltdown that the North has. And that means leapfrogging right over the internet directly onto the mobile web.
I'm from Kyrgyzstan and I'm here basically to tell, well, the whole world, I hope, about the trends in media freedom that are going on in my country. So we have been enjoying media freedom, I think, in our country since the last uprising that we had last year. But currently there are some alarming trends which I'm worrying about, and basically this is something that I think all of the world should pay attention to.
My name's Oleg Kozlovsky. I'm a democracy activist in Russia, and I think it's a great opportunity to make our voice, the voice of the democratic movement of Russia, heard. And I want to talk about the problems that we face in my country and how the international community can